Hey everyone, Steven here from the Ginger Zaps here with a quick little video for you guys. So, I just noticed that today is February 13th of 2024, and I also just kind of figured out that a film is turning 15 years old today. That film just happens to be the remake of Friday the 13th, which was released on February 13th of 2009. In saying so, that also means we haven't had a Friday the 13th film in 15 fucking years. Well, none that was released in theaters. So, after looking at that, I was kind of like, well, why has it taken 15 fucking years for a film of this high caliber with a well-received fan base, a established character, a box office that, just screams over the $400 million or whatever, right? Why is it that we haven't had a Friday the 13th film come out in the last 15 years? So, let's take a little detour as to why we haven't gotten it, what I feel like should happen now, and above all else, just what to expect. So just in case if you guys are wondering, what is Friday the 13th? Yes, I know it's on a fucking calendar. Yeah, whatever, right? But Friday the 13th is a horror film franchise, which is part of the slasher genre, that has a grand total of 12 films, has millions upon millions of dollars in the box office domestically and internationally worldwide, and has spawned countless imitators left, right, and center. We have so much merchandise, from comics to figures to games to so many things. And it's all because of this one guy, Jason Voorhees, the killer who wears a hockey mask. Well, at least from the beginning of the third film. In order for me to dive into this, where it was just like, okay, well, why is this such a big deal for anybody who loves the Friday the 13th franchise? Like, why has it been 15 fucking years? And why that's such a pathetic thing to know? Where it's like, for a studio, let alone that loves horror movies or anything like that, why is it that this film franchise hasn't seen a film in over 15 fucking years? You gotta think about it. Paramount Pictures basically had created Friday the 13th. So we've had Friday the 13th 1 to 8, all made by Paramount. And of course, as we all know, Paramount only skipped out on 2 years. 1983 and 1987 were the only years Friday the 13th never came out in theaters. Then, of course, Paramount decided to sell the rights to Sean S. Cunningham, and Sean S. Cunningham decided to sell the rights to New Line Cinema so that they can get the dream match, Freddy versus Jason. And of course, that didn't happen quite soon, because we ended up having Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. And then after that, we'd wait almost a fucking decade for another Jason film, which would end up becoming Jason X, which was supposed to be released in 2001, but was pushed back and was released in 2002. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what's the point of, why is it called Friday the 13th, the first 8 films, but then 9 and 10 are named something with Jason? Well, as we all know, as Friday the 13th fans and of the horror community, New Line did acquire the rights to the Jason character. They didn't acquire the rights to the score and the title Friday the 13th from Paramount. Paramount still had that. Now, of course, New Line would then finally make their Freddy vs. Jason film, which was a commercial success. It was the highest grossing film of both the Friday the 13th films and the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Nothing even came close. And then Platinum Dunes came in. And if you guys don't know who Platinum Dunes is, it was a movie studio that was synonymous for making a lot of horror movie remakes. And they were put on the map with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, which was released in 2003. Now, of course, as we all know, when they got the go-ahead to do the Friday the 13th remake, they had to get Paramount to license the title, license the score, and then get New Line to license the Jason character. So we finally got the remake. We finally got that Friday the 13th film. And of course, even though it's not even a review film for this, but, it's okay, for a Friday the 13th film, especially the 12th one in the franchise. It had its ups, it has its downs, but other than that, it's an enjoyable film. What can I say? We'll have to do a review on that sometime. But the problem is, ever since then, we haven't had a Friday the 13th film. Why? Like, Friday the 13th, when Paramount was the rights holders, they came out with 8 fucking films in a span of 9 years. Okay? And the fact that Paramount sold the rights to New Line, and New Line had a fucking film in 1993, then 2002, then 2003, and then would wait a whole whopping few years until 2009 when a remake came out. And now that it's been 15 years since a new film has come out, you gotta think, Paramount stayed more loyal to Jason than New Line ever fucking did. But eventually Paramount and New Line, they kind of just dropped the ball altogether when it comes to this. But of course, as we all know, it also has to do with the copyrights issues and the legal battles going on in court with the Jason character and the Friday the 13th franchise as a whole. Of course, Victor Miller, he wanted to seek his share of the copyrights. I have my own little sense on that one, where basically I feel like Victor Miller, he just wanted to milk that fucking franchise for as much money as he fucking could. Yeah, I get it, he's the writer, but he was the writer of the first Friday the 13th film. That's it. He doesn't own the Jason character. He doesn't even own the hockey mask version of Jason. He doesn't even own that shit. But I guess he wants his chunk of the pie, I guess you could say. And that's what also is one of the things that led to the fact that we haven't had a film in over 15 years. There's also the other things, stop-starts on production starting and casting being made, and then eventually, just goes out the fucking window. And Friday the 13th just never ended up getting that 13th film. Of course, it's not necessarily true. We haven't really seen a Friday the 13th in theaters in over 15 years, but we have had countless fan films that you can see right here, like the countless fan films that we've gotten over the years, especially recently with the Never Hike Alone films, which are phenomenal films. You guys gotta check them out. They're on YouTube for free. But other than that, like, we've even got games. We had the Gun Media Friday the 13th game, which I can easily say myself, I'm not quite a fan of that fucking game. I love the nostalgia and all the hard work that they, and the love and care that they put into that game. But the fact that that game, for the bugs it had and the toxicity level of that fucking game, and the fact that now there's no more new updates coming to that fucking game, it's like, fuck, whatever. But of course, you have your countless merchandise, right? I mean, like, NECA releasing figures almost every year. I mean, we've had how many NECA figures? I think 9 now. The ones that I pretty much have. I gotta eventually do that collection at some point. But the last one we got was part 7. You realize the only fucking NECA, the only Friday the 13th ones that haven't been touched yet are basically anything of the New Line era. And, well, part 8, but whatever. A lot of the things that people are clamoring for these fan films is that these fan films pay more homage and respect to the source material of Friday the 13th than the studios ever did. I mean, Paramount, you could tell they just want nothing to do with them. But of course, a lot of people even know that, hey, Paramount wants to make a TV series. Fucking why? We've already had a TV series. We've already had that, and it had nothing to do with Jason. But I did watch a few episodes back in the day, and I was like, it's not bad. But no one wants to have a streaming service decide to make a series that is just banking on the name Friday the 13th and banking on the character of Jason Voorhees. No one wants that. We want a fucking film. So, just the gall that people have, where it's basically, hey, let's put it on a streaming service and turn it into a fucking series. Why? Friday the 13th does not need a fucking season. Does not need a series. I mean, you gotta take this into consideration also. I know a lot of Friday the 13th fans are just fucking hurting right now. Why? Well, we just had 3 fucking Halloween films come out. We had how many Child's Play films come out? We've had how many Hellraiser films? How many Saw films came out? And Jason still hasn't had one. Yeah, I know Freddy only had 1 film come out after that 2009 film, and he hasn't been really making much noise since. But other than that, when it comes to everything that has happened when it comes to the Friday the 13th franchise, it's one of the most beloved franchises. I know I get a kick out of it from time to time. But the fact that it's been 15 years, and it's like, what do they do now? Where do they go? Let's just say I have a certain idea. Some movie studios should just pick up the rights of the Friday the 13th franchise right away. I mean, like, how many are there? There's Lionsgate, there's Blumhouse, there's so many fucking things, right? And you decide to just do the 13th Friday the 13th film. And you know what? Make it, go balls to the wall with it, right? Just go ham on that shit. Of course, don't do a Halloween Dead. Okay, and that's not a bad thing, Halloween fans. That's not a bad thing. I love what Halloween did with that new trilogy. I love the fact that they erased all the sequels. But you can't really do that with Friday the 13th, because you had Friday the 13th's 1 through 8, follow the same continuity within each other. Well, with the exception of 5. It seems like after 6, they didn't want to pay attention to 5. And then after that, New Line took over, and they paid no fucking continuity whatsoever. I mean, like, how the fuck did Jason get back to Crystal Lake from Manhattan after turning into a younger version of himself? Well, fuck, whatever. And then having Jason get shot into space in the year 2455. But then go back to Earth to fight Freddy in 2003. What the fuck? What happened there? I don't fucking know. But you can't do that. You have to make a true to itself sequel. Now, is it going to be how you want to do a 13th film? Maybe make it as a sequel to the remake. I mean, you already have an established Jason with that fucking movie. You already have one. You don't need to cast a new one. But if you have to, fuck it, so be it. But what they should never do is definitely do a streaming service. They should never do what Halloween did, which is just, hey, let's retcon the sequels. Don't do that. And plus, maybe take inspiration from what the fan films have done. I mean, like, when you think about it, Never Hike Alone basically is an unsung, like, trilogy sequels to Part 6 is Jason. And Part 6 is my favorite fucking Jason. So to see that, that's lovely. And I love those fan films. They're fucking amazing. But what they should not do, for sure, should not ever do, is sit on this for too long. At this rate, if you're going to sit on this for another 5 more years, I'm sorry, Friday the 13th fans, there's no way a Friday the 13th film is coming out ever again. And Jason is as good as dead at that rate. Because let's face it, I don't care if you're the movie studio of Paramount or New Line or Victor fucking Miller. I don't fucking care who you are. Sean Cunningham, I don't care about, oh, well, I want this percentage, I want this percentage, I want this percentage. You guys are making fucking 0% right now because nothing is being fucking made. The fact that this franchise has not seen a new film in over 15 years, and you guys still haven't even fucking come out with a film yet, that's damning on a franchise that, even though, yes, in the late 80s, it starts suffering from fatigue. But because we haven't seen one in so long, I think it's about time Jason comes back. I don't know what. Now that you guys heard from my perspective, what are your guys' perspective? What should happen with the Friday the 13th franchise? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, make sure you also give it the thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Don't forget to hit the bell notification so you get notified about all the other videos coming out on the channel. And like I said, this year, I'm going to be doing Friday the 13th parts 3 and 4, especially 4 since it's the 40th anniversary coming up. But other than that, guys, that's it for me. This was just a quick little video, but yeah, sorry Friday the 13th fans. I know I give you guys shit, but I'm also a fan too, and it fucking hurts knowing that half my life I haven't seen a Friday the 13th film in theaters. So anyways, guys, take care. This has been the Ginger Snaps here. My name is Stephen Harold. I'll talk to you guys later. Stay spooky.